There's no evaluation for this. Alright, thank you.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
My name is Wikit, and I'm currently the president of Puchong English Toastmasters Club. I'm very grateful that in the recent District 102 evaluation contest that I'm able to back the second runner-up.
Whoa!
Right, and and today I come here actually, I wish to share my experience as an evaluator as well as a contest evaluator to all of you. So, as today we have a lot of experienced Toastmasters here as well, so it will be great later we can share each other, you can share with our experience to one another as well. So let us start. Imagine the project speeches that you have done before. I'm not sure if you are doing this, but that is usually how a member do it. You give a speech, and then you get evaluated. You receive the book that is full of evaluation, then you go home happily, and you put it under your drawer. And then guess what? You continue to do your next speeches without reading the rest of the manual. So that is it. Evaluation seems like the only thing in Toastmaster that actually tells us what we have done right and what we could have done better. That is the only time when we do our gut check. That is why it is very important for evaluator to give the utmost high standard of evaluation to the speakers. Because the speakers have spent weeks, if not months, to prepare the speech. So he or she deserves the best evaluation. Now I would like to compile my sharing into 3 sessions. Simple one. Number 1, evaluate to motivate. You've been hearing this many times, right? Whenever someone passes you his or her CC manual, that is the time when that person entrusted you with his or her weeks of effort. So it is your responsibility, your utmost responsibility, your utmost priority is to help that person to become a better speaker. Every other thing else is secondary. Remember, that is your utmost priority. Now, the younger generation of Toastmasters, they are very creative. They like to add a lot of technique into their evaluation. For example, acronyms. Acronyms is a fantastic method to be used in evaluation. And I thought it is amazing, it is captivating, it is interesting, and it's breaking out of the ordinary evaluation. Nothing wrong with that. However, by the way, acronyms means that your speech is MPV. M for something, P for something, V for something. That is a very catchy way of reminding speakers. So I have a reminder for this. Doesn't matter what method you're using, your technique should not take precedence of your content of your evaluation. For example, if you are doing an acronyms in your evaluation, do not adjust your content of evaluation so that you are fitting to your acronyms. Because by doing that, your priority has gone off track. You are trying more to showcase your presentation skill instead of helping the speakers. So in the district contest, how many of you were in the district contest? Yeah. Alright. There are some speakers who use acronyms. They use acronyms on placing their evaluation. And this is from my studies, from my personal opinion. And unfortunately, they were not placed. Right? The top 3 evaluators did not use any acronyms. They were simply being analytical that picks out 3 very good points and 3 points of improvement. And then they presented it in a very lively manner, very motivating. Especially if you watch the champion speech, the champion evaluation, she was literally acting on the stage. She was adding a lot of emotion, vocal variety, body gesture. And this whole thing is very motivating for the speakers. Now let's imagine if I tell you, Ricky, you have done a good speech today. I hope that you can do better next time. Will you believe what I said just now? Right? It's not motivating at all. I mean, the speakers can feel you're insincere. So what I'm suggesting is to add more spices to your evaluation. Add vocal variety, add body language, gesture, and most importantly, your emotion. So that the speakers can feel you, can feel your energy. right? Now come to number 2. The second point is be attentive. You might be wondering, Wigit, what do you mean by be attentive? By being an evaluator, listening to the speech is already being attentive. What? When I first started as an evaluator, I was very worried that I don't have any point to say in my evaluation later. You know, that is scary, right? I can't catch any point. What am I supposed to say later, right? So I ended up, I was being very obsessed with the speaker's weakness. I was not very obsessed. Did the speakers have eye contact with the audience? Ah, no, cross. Did the speakers move around the stage? Ah, no, cross also. And guess what? It turns out I wasn't listening to the speech. I didn't get into the real meaning of the speech. And my evaluation that I presented was at the surface. Body language, eye contact, stage movement, and everything. So my suggestion to you here is, don't have this kind of judgment before you go into the meeting room. If the judgment is already set in your mind before you come into this meeting room, it doesn't matter what the speaker is going to say later, you're going to evaluate the same thing. Do you agree? Right? What I suggest to you is sit back, relax, and enjoy. Another way to show that you are attentive to the speakers is to recall some of the points that were presented in the speech and then bring it into your evaluation. For example, if the speaker talks about, if you're suggesting the speaker to be improved in the vocal variety, pick a line from the speaker's speech and show to him what do you mean by good vocal variety. This is what I did in the contest as well. When the test speaker was talking about childhood and how they transition to the adulthood when life becomes miserable. And he talks about using Lego, all those kind of metaphor. So I started my speech like this. Toastmasters so and so, your speech rekindled the childhood within me. So much so that I just want to play a Lego like what you said just now, instead of evaluating right now. So this is another way to show that you are being attentive. And then when you go on, you give examples of what you got. After all, evaluation is a tailor-made suit for the speakers, but you can't make the same suit to apply to every other speakers. Number 3, practice. If you remember the first few times when you were evaluating, did you realize that the evaluation was only at the surface criteria, like what I said, body language, gesture, movement, eye contact? Do you know why? This is because you were not exposed to as many speech as today. Because at the back of your head, you do not have much example of speech for you to benchmark whenever you hear a speech. As you go on, as you practice more, you have more examples that you can put in mind, and you can instantly think of something for the speakers. What are the common mistakes for this kind of speech? What are the common solutions to these kind of mistakes in this kind of speech? So, the only way to get better is to practice, practice, and practice. And surprisingly, if you practice more evaluation, surprisingly, your project speech will improve as well, tremendously. Because you are heard enough. Yes, you can copy each other's idea. In a nutshell, how do you know if you have done a good job as an evaluator? Actually, there's a simple way to check. After your evaluation, go back to your seat and observe the speaker. Is he smiling or is he frowning? Alright? And then ask yourself, did you really add value to the speaker's speech? And then third thing, check out his or her next speech. Did she do better? Did she implement your idea? Or she didn't even continue to do speeches after that? Right? If the answer is yes, congratulations. You have done a good job as an evaluator. After all, I think that evaluation, as an evaluator, we serve like an armory. You know what an armory is, right? You get the place where you get armor before you go to war. When the speaker comes into the armory, we equip them with all the weapons. And then we educate them how to use all these weapons perfectly. And last but not least, we empower them and tell them how to win the war. After all, an evaluation is simply as to empower more speakers that is under your evaluation. Thank you. Back to you.